Hello, welcome to video number 4 of the Having It interactive live video series. This is the series where we are coming together to move from desire to manifestation to actually having the things we've manifested. So I'm going to post a link here in the live stream. We're going to talk about 2 different things today that are connected to having it. Hi, Jean. One is I don't know, I'm sorry, I'm trying to do 2 things and I can't. Hi, Sarah. One is answering these questions that I'm about to talk to you about. The other is I'm feeling a lot of energy around money. So I'm noticing a lot of people are reaching out to me that have had money issues in the past to tell me this was the week. Hi, Joanna. This was the week they finally sold their healing work, or they got a new client, or like money flowed in. And I'm also, hi Maniba, and everybody who's coming on. And I'm also getting a lot of feedback from people who are like usually very comfortable with money being like, shit, like they're suddenly, so there's like an interesting shuffle of prosperity energy that's happening right now. So I thought, let's go into the Akashic Records and let's talk about money, because my first question for you is kind of going to be around that. So I'm going to give us a minute for a couple more people to just hop on. So just put yourself in a comfortable position to hang out and chill. We're going to go for about probably like 25, 30 minutes. I'm just going to like put the link in the Facebook group. So just give me 1 second. Yeah, we're going to start in just a minute. And if you're just joining us, this is Having It number 4. And we're going to be talking about the questions you need to have the answers to in your life to really let yourself have it. There's certain questions we think we all maybe have the same answers to, and it turns out we don't. So we're going to be talking about that. We're also going to go into the Akashic Records and just do like a money activation. So yeah. Number 4. All right. Cool. Hi, Marlon. Okay, so if you're just joining us, we're going to be doing broadcast number 4 of the Having It series. I'm going to post a link in here. Hey, Stephanie. I'm going to post a link in the video right now. So if you want to like have the reminders on these videos, and I'm putting all the videos, they've been good. I have to say, I've been getting a lot of feedback that we are really going through something as a community right now together for sure. So I've been getting a lot of messages from people saying, oh my God, that's like kind of exactly what's going on. So just realize that whatever you're moving through, if it's been challenging or tough, we're all going through it together. So I'm going to put this little link in here. Hi, I want to see your new hair. I'm going to put a little link in there, so if you want to sign up for those, for the recordings, and then also I'm doing like special sessions with people who register for that. You can get an application to work with me privately in a complimentary experience. So, Having It number 4. And as I said, the theme today is the questions you need to have the answer to, that we typically think we're all going to have the same answer to. So the first question is, and you know what, get a pen and paper if you have one, or we're probably going to go through some sort of energetic, hi Gina, we're going to go through some energetic process about this together. And this is actually something that I've asked this question to a lot of people who work with me in the Real You Rising sort of experience, where we're creating a container for them to really rise up into their authentic experience of success and power. And success and power are words I like to use a lot. And they're words that a lot of conscious people are typically not comfortable with. And I even like to say traditional success or traditional power. And the reason why is because I really feel like my purpose at this time is to activate light workers and conscious, loving people into positions of power and success and leadership. I feel like there's really nothing more important that could happen right now than for more conscious, heart-centered, loving people to get comfortable with roles of power, success, and leadership. And a lot of times, even people who are in my mentorship will say at first, I don't really like those words. I don't really like to identify with them. It feels cheesy, or it feels out of alignment, or it feels like I just don't like it. I don't like those words, and that's never something I've wanted to totally align with. And it's because we typically have one idea of what traditional success has to look like, or power has to look like, or wealth has to look like. And depending on the belief systems we have, you can kind of see, I love to just bring up, like, look at our media and look at our government, and you can kind of see what we kind of as a collective cultural experience think it has to look like or be like to be wealthy, successful, or powerful. Right? Like, it doesn't look like something that most people who are really sensitive and conscious are going to be wanting to, like, engage in. And to me, that's dangerous, because we need conscious, loving people to engage in government. We need them to engage in the media. We need them to engage in education and in positions where they can speak and lead and teach. And we literally live in a time where, like, everyone has a platform available to them. And the most famous people in the world are using the exact same platforms that your average Joe are using, right? Like, we suddenly have this way to reach 1 million people at once. So the first thing I want to ask you to answer today is, what is success to you? And so maybe you just want to take a minute, and do you have an immediate aversion to even the word success? The other thing that will keep us from having what we really want is chasing someone else's idea or perspective of what power or success is. And we will either chase it, or we will feel such an aversion to it that we don't step into the leadership we were really born to have. So the first thing you really want to ask yourself is and success looks different for different people, and it's all good. So for some people, success would be, having a really strong marriage and having children and buying a house and, like, having stability and structure and raising that family. And that is success. And for other people, it might look like having, total freedom, right? Having the freedom to, like, travel whenever they want and do whatever they want and live more of a nomadic lifestyle. And that's success to them. And for other people, it look like having a lot of money. For other people, it's going to look like having a lot of time. It's really going to depend on the person, but you have to be clear to let yourself have what you want. You have to first know how comfortable you are with the word success and what success means to you. So I would love to, like, have some comments in here if you're having some thoughts about what actually success means to you, because you're also not going to know how to be led or guided or know how you want to move if you don't know what it would mean. Like, when will it be successful? When will it be success to you? Are you going to be on a hamster wheel forever, or is there a moment where you could say, I'm really living what it is I wanted to have? So it's very important to be able to answer that question. So we're just going to take a couple breaths here and just let yourself check in with what success means to you, or maybe what it used to mean and what it means now. What it feels like when we're even talking about it. Hi, Christina. So if you're just joining us, one of the questions you really need to be able to answer to really have what you want in your life is, what is success to me? Abundance, freedom, music and music videos, travel, love, connection, family, home. Beautiful. So that actually brings me, hi Lauren, see you in a bit. So what is success? We want to start there. And then actually we're going to take some of the words that you just posted, Stephanie, because that's the next piece, is that it could look very different for a lot of different people. And by the way, it can change. Like, I think for me at a certain point, success would have meant, like, having a massive impact, and then it meant having a massive impact and making a lot of money. right? And then I had those things, and then it was like, but I don't have any sort of balance in my life. And I'm not really like feeling my own personal life. So now success to me is like all three of those things. And then probably when I'm ready to have a family, like that'll look different. So like success will continue to change and grow. And I no longer think that just having a great money month is success or value, or just having an impact but being totally burned out internally. Like that's, you know, like there's nuances to success. And the first step is just getting clear with what is true for you now. So Joanna says, winters in the sun, enjoying travel and freedom, live music, lots of concerts. So we're going to start with actually one of the words that I also wanted us to answer for ourselves. And we're going to start with freedom. So you hear the word freedom a lot. I use the word freedom a lot. And financial freedom is like a term you'll hear a lot. So that's another one, is we want to get really specific. So what is freedom to you? Hey, Angela. And it's kind of the same thing. Like, so for some people, freedom is going to mean having stability and having a home that I know I can pay for, and having a job where I know what it's going to be like every day, and I can leave at 5 p.m. and I'm done, and I enjoy my coworkers, and I come home and I raise my kids, and I'm with my partner, and that is freedom. Right? Like that, I have a container that allows me to feel really safe and structured, and that for me is freedom. And then there's people who are like, you know, I'll just give another example of like freedom for someone who's entrepreneurial, right? Like, so for me, like I could never find freedom. Well, maybe, who knows? We'll see what happens, I guess, later on in my life. But for me, like I could never stop doing the entrepreneurial thing, even when it wasn't working, because there was a freedom. I needed to have a container where I got to completely be myself and create and grow and like try these different ideas and choose what I wanted to price things at. And you know, like there was just a certain freedom. And I had friends who were on the entrepreneurial journey with me, because I've been doing this. I'm 33. I would say like I really started the entrepreneurial journey when I was 22. So, you know, 11 years. Like there's friends of mine who like hey Shannon, that it just did not feel free for them. Like it was not freeing to be on an entrepreneurial journey. It created a lot of stress and anxiety in their life. There was no freedom in that experience for them. And yet you have all these people who are talking about financial freedom and the freedom to be your own boss and how free that is. That's not free for everyone. That is not a free feeling experience for everyone, and that's okay. Right? So freedom can look like a lot of structure and a lot of containment. Freedom can look like being an entrepreneur. I know I have friends of mine who want the freedom to travel all over the world and work from anywhere. And I've done that a little bit, and I realized that doesn't feel free to me. Like basically what I wanted is I wanted to live somewhere where I like being most of the time, because for me to get my greatest work done, I need to be in one space. It turned out it did not feel free for me to travel all over the place, right? So you want to get really clear. And so I would invite like Joanna and Stephanie and anyone here, like freedom, you know, like what is freedom to you actually? Because again, freedom's one of those things that's going to look different for everyone. Yeah, vacation mom. I like to live like vacation mom. I find that freeing. That's what Lauren calls me, because it's a longer story, but I guess if you come over, I guess I live like vacation mom. Success for me is the feeling of fulfillment in everything I do. Feeling supported, financial abundance, travel, expression, and ease. So we're going to keep going. You kind of see this thing. So if you're just joining us, there's some questions you need to answer. And so one is, what is success to you? So what is freedom to you? Because if we're trying to live other people's idea of success or freedom, we're not going to have what we really want to have. So now we're going to go to the next one. These are two I love asking people in my mentorship, and I'm hearing it from people. Abundance. So financial abundance. So what is, or I'm just going to use wealth, financial wealth. So what is wealth to you? That again is going to look really different to different people. So is it wealth if you have $1 million, but you work 100 hours a week? Is that wealth? From an hourly perspective, it's like ends up not ending up even being that much an hour, but is that wealth? Maybe it is to you. Is it wealth to just be able to cover your bills? Is wealth to you being able to take care of your family? Is it like, what is abundance? Like abundance and wealth, we sometimes use these words where they're general words, and so there's an idea that we all have a generally the same expectation of what it is, and we don't. And so again, we could be chasing someone else's idea of this, I now am abundant because I have X, Y, and Z, and it ends up not feeling abundant to us because in order to have this, I need to do this, or in order to manage this, I need, you know, or like I can't seem to get off the hamster wheel because I haven't decided what is actually abundance to me, so I never know if I'm there. So that's another one. We want to get really, really specific here. So what is abundance? What is freedom? What is success? And then the fourth one is, what is luxury? So what is luxury to you? So again, we all think we have a similar idea of luxury. I really don't think we do. So for example, for me, luxury is like, you know, vacation mom. Like the luxury for me is being able to live on the ocean, invest in really powerful healing and teachers. Like I live in a very luxurious way in terms of the amount of personal like growth and like environment well-being that I have, but I'm not someone who spends my money on like bags and shoes and jewelry, and there's nothing wrong with that type of luxury. It's just not the luxury that lights me up at this time in my life. It may light me up at another time, but like I choose to direct my wealth to other things that other people would be like, holy shit, you spend that much on that? And I feel that way about like what they're spending on a bag, you know what I mean? But so what is luxury to you? What is luxury to you? Or is luxury having time? So I know I have friends who are just like not willing to work 40 hours a week even, or 60 hours. So for them, the luxury is having time and space. And for other people, it's always flying first class or being able to treat their entire family to a vacation. So you want to get really clear and really specific on what luxury is to you, so we can stop judging each other and stop judging ourselves and understand if perhaps you actually, so here's the thing, as you get really clear on what is success, what is freedom, what is wealth, what is luxury, you're probably going to realize you already have success, freedom, luxury, and wealth in your life right now. Now you may want higher levels of it. You may want a more expansive version of it, but you have these things already based on your own belief system. And sometimes we're basing it on someone else's belief system. So those are 4. Let's see what Gina says here. Hi, April and Carmilla. I'm going to read your comments here. I agree with Marlon, and trusting and honoring what fulfills me might look different than what I've been taught to want. Completely. So this is really important for conscious people because it might look different than what I've been taught to want, right? So on one hand, it's like, hey, I might have been taught that I'm supposed to want these levels of success and wealth and positions. And you also might have been taught to be conscious and loving and like into the things I'm into. I can't want those things. So for me, for the things I've been interested in for a long time, I just thought I'm not supposed to want this sort of money or this sort of luxury, right? Like that doesn't go along with also having these perspectives or ideals. So yeah, it's really interesting when you start to think about it in that way. Carmilla, being able to work out whenever I want to because it feels awesome, yet not have to pay $1,000 to do it. Health should be free. Yeah, so that's another thing of like having the freedom to, and you can create that freedom right now. So you don't have to pay $1,000 to do it, right? There's a million ways to work out whenever you want without paying anyone else money. And so for other people, the freedom might be, I love having like an Equinox or David Barton membership. I love the luxury of that experience. For you, it's going to feel more luxurious and free to not have to participate in that. And that's what's so cool. And it's not one person wasting money and one person not wanting to spend money. It's like 2 different perspectives of what freedom and luxury and health is. So thank you for that. Wealth is having a rich, fulfilling experience of life and having the resources I need to support that. I love that. Yeah, having the resources. What are the resources you need? We sometimes don't even know how much we actually need for the life we want. And so you may actually right now have what you need for the life you want. Or you may not, and now you're allowed to admit, like, I want a different level of luxury. I want a different level of wealth. Wealth is the ability to do what you want with the time that you have. All you have is time, and nobody knows how much. Yeah, absolutely. I can't, for some reason, it's not showing me the rest of your comment, Sarah, but yeah, so I agree, like, time is an absolute wealth. Right? And so we typically see that most people in our society seem to have to choose time or money. And so the idea is, how can you have both, and how can you really enjoy the time you have while it also comes back to you as a financial exchange? Like that's usually what I'm looking to do, but I agree, like spaciousness with time is really powerful and really a sign of wealth and luxury. Luxury for me is a nice, nourishing environment and lots of time and travel freedom. Sultana and Kim are here. Oh, thanks, Christina, for sharing the video. Beautiful. So now we have those, and there's one more. Well, there's a couple more I want to ask you about. So, hey, Deborah. So the next question you want to really know the answer to is support. What does support look like to you? Because again, we can feel I'm not being supported, I don't have the support I need. And is that true? Like what, and you know, I've been asking that to my mentorship a lot this week because we're really leaning into the idea that this is a sisterhood and they can really support and hold each other, and like this is what we all need now. And what we really had to investigate is what support has felt like. So that's one you really want to ask yourself, because basically to have freedom, luxury, wealth, and success is going to require some support. It's going to require allowing yourself to feel supported by other people. It's going to require you choosing behaviors and thoughts that are supportive to your goal and to like the direction you want your life to be in. It's going to require knowing how to support and nurture the things you're creating in your life. So you have to really understand what support means to you. And I found it fascinating because I've asked a lot of people this week what support means to them, and I've been asking myself that. And so for some people, support means like not, you know, like it would be like, for some people I've noticed support means like, get off my nuts. Like support means people giving them space and letting them do what they need to do and not having to answer to a lot of people or a lot of obligations to other people. That to them feels supportive. To other people, support has meant having people that are holding them accountable and really in touch with them every day. That feels supportive. For other people, and it might be time for you to do a reset on what support means, because I've also heard from a lot of people this week that support feels invasive, or it feels like another thing they need to manage, or it feels like a tit for tat where like, I don't even want to get a lot of support because now that's going to require me to have to give a lot back and I don't have the bandwidth for that. Or support makes me feel vulnerable because it's acknowledging that I need help and I need something and I can't, you know, I'll say like that's for me, support has felt really vulnerable. So I've often chosen people who I'm saying I've hired or I've brought into my life to support me, but I kind of already it feels too vulnerable to have needed support because I haven't always been sure I could trust that people are going to stay or be there. So I'll oftentimes choose situations that are not that supportive because support to me has felt vulnerable. So this may be a time where you want to do a reset of what support means to you. So let's just take a few breaths here and just think about like what support has meant so far. Just how it is in this moment. And so if you want to add a comment here and just say like, this is what support has been for me until now. Some people, again, I've heard support has felt like betrayal. Those who I've asked to support me in the past have been, you know, ended up not being able to do it or something like that. So that's the final one. I would say there's more to really look at, like, you know, especially if you have a really big vision for something you want to share in the world. And a lot of the people I work with have a big vision of something they want to offer and create and like bring into the world. And so what that means is we need to really understand those questions. And then we need to really understand, and I would say this is true for everyone on here, to really let yourself have what you want. I don't want to miss this one. What is love to you? And that's, again, one where you may need a reset. So if love has felt like overgiving or not asking for what you want, if like love has been connected to you with enduring, right? Like love is about enduring something for someone else, or love is about getting what I need, or, you know, like love has been a tit for tat thing. You may want to really readdress what love is. Because as you expand and grow and offer something and really let yourself have, love is going to have to mean something different. So that's another question you want to ask yourself. What is really love? What is love for me? Not what is love for other people, which again, it might look like a certain type of relationship or a certain way of behaving or being for some people versus others, right? So you want to be really clear on your interpretation and understanding of love and whether it needs a reset. And so we'll just take a couple breaths here. Just feel what love has felt like for you so far. And then the other question that you would really ask yourself, like if we were to keep going, I just ask people questions constantly because it's going to give us everything we need. So it's like, what is visibility to you? Like that's another big one I've been asking people I work with this week, because if visibility has a negative connotation, but something you're here to do in the world or a way you're here to be, if you can start to really allow yourself to embody prosperity and freedom and love and success, you're going to be a more visible person. That's, like you're going to show up, you're going to glow. And so what has it been like to be visible for you? It's something to really know. Actually, that's one you really want to know the answer to, because most of what we're wanting to have is going to make us more visible in the world, just by default. Just because the world needs light, your light right now. So if you're letting yourself really have your light and embody the light, you're going to be seen. So how does it feel to be seen? What has visibility been like? You're trying to get all this attention, or this is dangerous, or, I don't like that, or I never was the one who got to be visible, or I was only visible in my family if I was doing something wrong and I was about to be punished. You want to understand your association with visibility. And feel free to post your questions, comments, or like any feedback you have on these questions. But we're going to go into just doing a little prosperity experience here now. But basically, if you're just joining us, to really have what you want to have in this lifetime, you want to really understand your answers to these following questions. And we're just going to say the questions again, and then we're going to go into the Akashic. What is success? What is freedom? What is luxury? What is wealth? What is support? I'm going to add in visibility. What is visibility, and what is love? Like, what is your understanding of those embodiments or experiences? And what is it now? Because it might have changed. Again, success change. You see that, right, with people who have become wealthy, for example, financially wealthy, and thinking they're embodying success, and then they're miserable in these other ways, and they realize, wait a minute, my perspective of what success is has changed. So as you keep changing vibration, and this is kind of that change in relationship resonance thing that we talk about a lot, right? That change in relationship resonance of, this was what freedom was for me here. This is what freedom is for me now. This is where I know I want to heal and transcend what freedom has meant so far. So that's that. Those are the questions you want to have answers to really let yourself have it. Yeah. I just want to, I saw Danielle Laporte speak this week, and I'm writing this in her planner. So I just was thinking, one of the most beautiful things she said that really hit me this week, and we'll go into the energy now, is guilt is a sidecar of expansion. So meaning that as you expand, it was really talking about change of relationship resonance. As you expand, you're going to have to leave the person who gave you your big break. You're going to have to leave a relationship. You're going to have to ask for more from someone you know can't give you more, and you're going to have guilt about that. That guilt is a sidecar of expansion. And so sometimes I think we don't allow ourselves to have the answer currently to these questions, sometimes because we're in a guilt sidecar, because we're expanding. So allow yourself to really know what the answers to these are for you now. Not, it's good to know what they were 5 years ago. It's really good to know what they are now and where they need to be reset. Okay, so now let's just do a little prosperity thing here. So we're going to take some breaths and breathe in some space and possibility for this experience, and exhale out. And I want you to just feel the way you're going to allow yourself, get your feet like on the floor if they're not on the floor. And if you're just joining us, we're going to do a little Akashic record reading on one shift. I'm going to ask for one shift that would really support everyone who's watching this live or recorded to bring in their experience of wealth within the next 7 days. How about that? So the first thing that needs to happen is just feeling just energy moving down through your crown, through your legs, down through your feet and into the ground. And so there's just almost like, you want to picture just like like a bucket of light that's just washing you, cleansing you, releasing you. And the big word here, and you know, we talked about this on last Sunday, forgive them, forgive them, forgive them, forgive them, forgive them. So there's something within most of us who are watching this where we gotta like just forgive a scenario or a situation. And I'm also hearing that we're going to require some forgiveness work around those who taught us our initial experience of success and wealth and support. I'm especially feeling here male relatives. So if you had a father who made your mother feel guilty about the fact that he was working so hard to provide for her, but didn't really give her the space to really expand and create her own experience of prosperity. That's just an example. If you have a grandfather who kind of manipulated everyone in the family by like being the one who helped people out with money, but also judging like what they were doing with their life, like, or took kind of, would take opportunities to be passive aggressive and offer sort of shaming remarks at the same time he was providing for someone's lifestyle. Those are two of the examples that are coming to me right now from the records, but we're just going to clear and release the experience we've had around those who gave us our initial story around wealth and success and support, so that we can come into the true story for our soul. So for many of us, we're still in the just what was kind of informed us. There were some experiences when we were younger that informed us, and we don't want to associate with it, and so we're not really open to the windfall that is here. So let's just feel the way we're just getting a big cleansing gust of light and love and fresh air, like a little bucket right over us. It's just moving through our whole system. Forgive them, forgive them, forgive them, moving through your feet. Let's take 4 more breaths this way. I'm just getting a sense to really make sure I'm just like holding our heart, like protecting the heart while you're allowing this clearing, just letting the heart be tender here. And just notice if you can feel a lightness or a little bit of a refreshment. My heart is beating faster. It's like there was some energy that I couldn't circulate because it was still a little bogged down for me. So like just see if there's just like a ooh, I can like move a little bit more. Okay, and now we're calling in all the guides, guardians, and teachers that work with us in the Akasha. We're calling upon our soul lineage. Is this a past life that's connected for everyone? Okay, we're also opening the Akashic vibrational record of this prosperity activation that could happen for all of us, where within the next 7 days, we could all bring forth and have an experience of our soul's like true feeling of success and wealth and freedom. And so there's an image to clear here. Is it like one person in the group's past life? Yeah, but it resonates. So this is actually someone's specific past life, but it resonates for the whole group. So the image I'm seeing here is of another lifetime where you were part of a royal family. And so I'm seeing a king that looks very exhausted and very tired and very weathered. Like he actually hasn't enjoyed his position of authority, power, or leadership. And I see is this like his son? And it's like his son is being prepared to take over the throne, and he's a young kid, and there was like really no freedom for him to ever know any other way. And I see in this image the king putting a crown on the son and saying like, now this is yours, or one day this will all be yours, or like, you know, this is the power I'm bestowing on you. And I can see the way the son says, this doesn't look like you had too much fun being successful and powerful and in leadership. And I'm feeling the way the son just feels very conflicted. The guilt and shame of not wanting to carry on and perpetuate the legacy. The guilt and shame of not wanting to carry on and perpetuate a legacy of power and success as the family has been showing up until now. And then also just the intelligence of the kid of just like, why would this be exciting when I can see how much it's dragged you down, that you did not find a way to find pleasure in this role, and perhaps it wasn't even the right role for you, but it's just how our family did things. So this actually ripples out to anyone who's watching this, because part of what also needs to be cleared here is taking on the legacy of your ancestry, taking on the legacy of, now this is yours. This is how power and leadership and authority looks in our family, and no one even is really feeling that good in this. So this is another legacy thing that's clearing for everyone who's watching this, is whatever power, authority, because each one of you did have some sense of power, authority, and leadership in your ancestry, in your family, right? Like there was your family's version of that. And so what I'm seeing here is you need to allow yourself to clear and release your family's version of that. And there's guilt and shame of, I'm supposed to want it the way my family wants it, even though I can tell they don't want it like that. Does that make sense? And so since you're watching this, you're a soul innovator, which means you're here to embody a new perspective, a new tone, a new way to offer something to an already existing environment. So when we know we're here to be soul innovators, and every one of you is here to be soul innovators in your family's legacy of power, success, wealth, and leadership, which means you have to forgive. There's nothing to forgive. It's like we just want to clear and release the guilt and shame of not wanting power the way your family experienced power. Because maybe they experienced power through being a victim. Maybe they experienced power through being a persecutor. Maybe they experienced power by suppressing their desires and their truth. And that's not how you're going to do it. And you haven't allowed yourself to bring in money and power in the way that's right for you, because you're like, this is the kingdom. This is how I get to have the kingdom, and it looks like pretty shitty, but I don't know how else it could possibly happen. So that's what that image is about. Now I'm going to feel into the collective body of everyone here, because there's kind of like one part of my body that is like connected to sort of where this is for all of us. And when I see these images, they're connected to somewhere in our body, which is actually connected to our energetic field, which is where we're holding this frequency. And then we're just like moving through life with this frequency. So let's just breathe in here, seeing that sort of king handing the crown to the kid who's like, this is going to suck. And let's feel where it is. And it's in the throat. So it's in the way we express, it's in the way we talk about things, it's in the way we ask for things. And how can we release this? And so we're just putting some awareness to the throat and to the top of the spine. I'm allowed to do this differently. I'm allowed to receive money, power, and success differently. I'm allowed to offer a new way. And as you do that, feel the way the shoulders release here. 5 more breaths here, letting the shoulders release everything you've been carrying, thinking you had to trudge through this version of success and power the way your ancestry did it. This is maybe conscious, maybe not. Letting that move out of the shoulders. And then a fear of, I won't know how to ever have power and success if I don't keep these ideals and these methods. I won't know how to do it. So I want you to just know that it's safe, that once you create the space in your mind for a new way of bringing forth money, power, success, freedom, once you create the space for that in your mind, you will be given the next set of instructions. You will be given the truth for your soul. You have to let go of what's kind of all up in your mind of what you think needs to happen to have that happen. So we want to really widen the way it can happen. We want to get very specific that we do want it to happen. So 10 breaths here. We're just going to let our mind clear and our shoulders clear. Letting it go, letting it go, letting it go. Not letting yourself get psyched out here. So there may be some feeling of anxiety or fear or worry that I'm going to lose connection with my family if I don't carry on this legacy. The way that little boy was worried, how will he relate to his father if he doesn't carry on the kingdom? So we're exhaling out here. And now the image that's coming through here is just this little boy doing this in a whole different way, embodying leadership in a more playful way. The piece that was actually exhausting his father was the idea that to be in leadership, to be in power, to be in authority, And especially if there's serious things going on in your kingdom, that you have to always be very stoic, that you have to be very serious, that you have to be very gruff, or nobody will pay attention and no one will trust you to lead and direct. And so what his son actually shows him in this image, now that we've all cleared and released, like we have to do it like our family, the message I'm getting here is to invite yourself to know that you could embody this in a much more playful way. The biggest thing that needed to clear for all of us is that it only comes through from a place of stoic seriousness, that there is a way to embody power and authority and freedom and wealth and bring in an experience of that this week while being very playful. And so I see this little boy coming into the kingdom in a very playful way, and he being honored and respected as a leader, and his father just breaking open and feeling like this is actually what our kingdom needed. And so just know that your ancestry and all timelines, personalities, and dimensions is like, yes, like so grateful that you're going to step up and say, yes, I want to be a leader. Yes, I want to be in authority and in power and freedom and wealth. And I won't do it in the way we've been doing it, but I will be in the role. I say yes to this role. I say no to how it's been done until now, because I believe there's a way we can do this that is of a greater good to myself and others, and will be more honoring to my well-being and to the ancestry that comes after me. And so now just breathe in that image of just like, if you want to take that image of the little boy being playful and the whole kingdom really respecting that and getting that and it being the new time, do that. But if you just want to see yourself like in a playful space that still feels like you're embodying power, what would that look like to you? So for me, for example, it's just like I see a whole team helping me on a project, but we're having a laugh. We're having a laugh and it's still getting done. And let's just breathe in here. And it might be a color or a word for you. That's okay if you don't have an image, but just breathe in. Power plus playfulness equals a new experience of wealth and prosperity and freedom, because freedom and wealth can't happen without joy. Freedom and wealth will not happen for us truly without joy. That's a very strong message coming to you from the records. So just breathe that in here right now. Freedom and joy and prosperity all coming together, and we ask that it come through for us in the most joyful way. Big breath in here. Exhale out. And that's just bringing us right up. Beautiful ball of light, line of light moving right up through the crown, connecting you to your higher self, which is now open and available to give you inspiration, insight, and great ideas for the next 7 days for how you can embody a physical experience of your version of wealth and freedom and success. And so now just take the next 10 seconds here, 5 breaths, whatever you want to say, and just feel the way now you're connected to your higher self, and you move with integrity for the next 7 days, and you move in prosperity and freedom and joy. You know it can't happen without joy. It can't happen without having fun. It can't happen without melting and opening and softening. And so I'm just hearing to say that's just an overarching thing that holds all of those questions together, although all of you would have had a different answer to what is success and luxury, wealth, support, visibility, love, and freedom. Joy circles around all of them. True joy. So what is happiness? What is happiness to you? Happiness, I'm hearing to say, happiness is all of these things happening for you in your true way, in the way that's true to you. And so we're just knowing everything we've cleared here is permanently released and cleared. Everything we just activated and opened is permanently here with you. The benefits are going to keep amplifying over the next 7 days and beyond. We're going to thank the guides and guardians who are part of this. We're going to thank the Akashic realm. We're going to thank whoever's past life that was. You are free, and that past life is free. It's done, and it is done, and so it is. And we're just taking a moment here to feel how we're all in this together. We've got your back. We're holding you. You get to have your version of freedom. You get to have your version of wealth. You get to have your version of joy and love and visibility and luxury and success and power. You get to have it. You get to have it. No compromising, no negotiating. You get to have it. If you know what it is for you, then you don't have to negotiate and compromise, because you'll really know what it would mean to have it. And we know that this will continue beyond this time. And we know we are always connected by heart. And for now, we'll breathe back into existence the door between worlds. Records are closed, and so it is. And just take a moment here to feel that move through your whole body, grounding you into the earth, taking wonderful care of our planet. That is prosperity, and freedom is making sure that our earth is well cared for. Really, really loving our earth. Send this good energy and this prosperity down into the earth. Let her feel it with you. Know that she is sending you resources back up. Okay. So if you want to post any questions or comments here, you can. I feel good. I hope you feel good. I think this is a really important conversation, and knowing the answers to these questions and supporting each other to get to our own answer as a community and as a collective is, to me, the most important thing we can do right now. We need each one of you to be free and to be successful and to be luxurious and to be supported and to be visible and to be loved, to love and be loved. That's what we need right now from every one of us, and certainly from you. So thank you so much, and we'll talk to you soon.